Hi guys, Nim here, and today we are doing a little art supply haul slash swatching, and I'm going to show you some of my recent sketchbook pages as well. So yeah, let's get right into it. The first supply I got was this sketchbook. This is a Royal Talons art creation sketchbook, and I found that it's my favorite to create art in because I had this mini one already, but it's similar to my Let's Sherman Moleskin when it comes to quality. I think the pages are just very slightly less GSM to them, but it still holds all the same medias, and it's so cheap. I keep getting these for like on sale for like $10. Because I added a couple more to my cart and bought them, and I'm just waiting for them to show up. But when a sketchbook is cheap, I found that it lets me feel free to use the paper up because I feel like I'm not wasting expensive sketchbook paper. So like I almost never pick up my Let's Sherman or my Moleskin, even though they still have pages left in them, like a lot of pages left in them. I go straight to the Royal Talons because I feel more free to actually use it, because I'm just like, well, it didn't cost that much. So if I make ugly pages, like I'm not wasting the paper. And I know that's some weird psychological type of BS that some artists have. And I'm one of those artists. I feel stressed out if the sketchbook is too expensive. So yeah, I found like this is so cheap, but it's also really good quality. So I got myself a full-size one finally, because I had this little guy. So let's go ahead and show what I've done in this sketchbook already, because I'm going to be swatching the rest of the supplies I got in here for you. And then afterwards, I'll just show you what's in my other two sketchbooks. So first, I have the sketchbook information here. And this was just a very sloppy sort of plein air painting that I did. It was the first time I ever like tried to create something in person when I was sitting there, because I have really bad anxiety about people seeing me or how much time I'm spending doing things. So this is obviously very sloppy and quick. And I tried to use the colors that would go well with this cover. By the way, this sticker is from the Sticky Club sticker subscription service. I love their service and I get it. And this sticker just looked so perfect for the sketchbook. But anyways, so I went and sat by the lake that's across the street from our house, and I did this. I would have liked to take longer on it, but my mom was with me and she was complaining about just sitting there. So yeah, it was just a quick little scene at the lake. Here's some doodles of Mirko from My Hero Academia. This one's a direct draw from a screenshot. And this is not, which is why it's worse. This is me just drawing her. These were with the Pentel brush pen. Here are a couple pages I did of a new OC of mine named Spruce. And I obviously did them in graphite. And these are the first ever art of him. And I love him. And I'm going to keep drawing him. This is Spruce again, and just some random fish, and just me messing about with pastel colors and bright colors, because again, I thought it was fitting for the sketchbook. Okay, so this is bad, and I only left it in here because I'm trying to be an honest artist on here, and some days I just scribble and I'm just messing about and it doesn't create anything good. But instead of like gluing the pages together or covering them with something else, I wanted to leave them in here so that viewers get to see authentic sketchbooks. Like, this spread is hideous in my opinion, but it's staying. I only did it because I mixed these colors. I mixed a little palette of colors with gouache for myself. I created a little palette and I wanted to test out the colors all together, and that's why I did this. And I love the colors together. It's just not like a good looking piece of art or anything. Oh, these are just 10 to 20 second figure drawings. So they're very sloppy, a little wonky, but it's good warm up. And then the last page that I've done so far in here are 1 to 2 minute still life drawings. So that's all that's in here. But next we are going to swatch the rest of the art supplies I got. Now these art supplies aren't going to be anything you've never seen before on YouTube. They're all very popular on YouTube, but I didn't have them, so I'm excited. So the first thing I got, sorry, I know that's loud, are these beautiful Carand'ache Luminance pencils. I think there's 26 of them, and we're gonna swatch those. And then the other thing I got were these 3 Neocolors. So I've never used Carand'ache Neocolors or Luminance. I've never used anything Carand'ache, but the thing about these, the Neocolors, is for like a couple of years, like I would see them around and I was just like, why? Like, why would you spend a lot of money on crayons? Like, they're basically crayons. I was like, what's wrong with you people? Like, they can't be that great. They're crayons. And I just didn't get it. But I could just see them used so often, and I always like the work that they're in. And I was finally like, I'm just gonna get a few and see. And oh my God, did I eat my words. Like, I love these. These are so creamy. Here, I'll go ahead and swatch them. They're so ridiculously creamy, which I wasn't expecting. I thought they would be kind of like waxy, but they're so creamy, and they have this like weirdly satisfying weight to them that makes them not feel cheap at all. Like it's really nice to hold them. And yeah, I just love them. I also tried layering them over 3 different types of paint, and you're gonna see that in my Moleskine. I'll show you. And they did really well. In case you like these colors, I just got light blue, I think this is, yeah, yellow, green, and vermilion. So I just got those to start. But my birthday's at the end of the month, and I'm going to be treating myself to many more of these, as well as some more Luminance pencil colors and some other things, which you'll also get to see me swatch those. But let's move on to the colored pencils. I'm just swatching these in no particular order. I tried to get colors that all kind of look good together. So yeah, it doesn't matter what order I put them in. I'm not gonna be grouping them at all. These also were much creamier than I expected. Weirdly enough though, there's one single pencil that is just like insanely scratchy, and I'll point it out like once I get to it. But they're all so creamy, except for this one pencil is the scratchiest thing I've ever used. And I don't know if like it's always like that particular color, like maybe using, like to make that color, they have to use something that is very dry and scratchy. Or if like I got like a really weird reject version of that pencil. But when I get to it, I will let you know which color that is. I'm not gonna name all of these because I get really bored when YouTubers like name every single color for the viewers. So I'm sorry that I'm not reading them off. If anyone wants to hear the colors, just let me know in the comments and I'll go ahead and tell you. But I tried to get colors that would be good for like landscapes and things like that. And then when I get more colors for my birthday, I'm gonna go ahead and like fill in the gaps. Like for example, I only have 1 red right now, so I'm gonna get different reds. And I'm gonna get like pinks and purples too, because I don't have any of those. I think this is the scratchy one, hold on. No, it's not this one. I love colored pencils so much. They're definitely one of my favorite art supplies of all time. And what's funny is that like I was shit talking Neocolors for a couple years, and now just owning those 3, they are one of my favorite art supplies of all time also. Which is funny that it took me a single time swatching just 3 of them and just being like, yep, nope, I get it. I fully get it. I love this color. This one's... No, it's the one I don't know how to read the name. Of all the ones that I was actually going to read you the name, I have no idea how to say this. So I'm just not going to, but I love that color. Isn't that beautiful? Is this the scratchy one? Okay, it's this one. It's Castle Earth, which is number 046. This is so scratchy. I don't know if you could hear that, but you can even hear the difference. And like you can see it's like speckled instead of like super opaque and creamy. I don't know what is with that color that it's just completely different makeup than the other ones. So that's like the only one that's not satisfying to use. Here's my only red. But I love this red. I think it's called Permanent Red. Yeah, it is. Here's another green I love. That's Cobalt Green. And then very last one. Ta-da! All right, we have swatched all of the art supplies I got. So now I will just show you the rest of my recent sketchbook pages. First, I'll start with the Moleskine since there's only a couple pages in here, but also this is where I tested those Neo colors on top of different types of paint. So let me see. Oh, let me zoom out for you. There we go. So I started this chart recently, and as you can see, it's almost, it's barely filled in, but that's because I'm just gradually doing it over time because there's so many squares that there's no way I could do this all at once. So I'm just gradually working on that. But as I do it, I've already found some beautiful combinations by mixing some colors that I would normally never mix together. Like, I was just shocked. So I can definitely say that, like, if you have paints, oh, I'm so sorry, I just smacked you in the face. If you have paints, like a lot of paints, and there are some that you've never tried mixing, I fully recommend you do so. Like, even if you think that they would be horrible together, because some of these are ones that I never would have mixed together if I hadn't been doing this chart. And I've gotten such beautiful ones from paints that I didn't think would mix at all. So I highly recommend doing this. Next, this was just a little practice. There we go. I was doing some studies. So this was a crab sculpture that I found online. And these are witches' balls. I forget what they're actually called, like if it's gumdrops or something, but they're something that fall off of trees in our yard. And I went ahead and just practiced some of those. And then this here was that challenge where you paint random blobs and then you like have to draw what you see in them, almost like looking at clouds. And yeah, so I got these weird guys. I like this weird little shrimp thing and maybe this guy. But yeah, that's all that was. This page, I was doing another exercise. These are from what's it called? That one online website where you can pay to take like art courses. Domestika, okay. But that was one where you just have to like scribble with a colored pencil and then draw over the scribbles. And like, it was fine. You see this little guy peeking out, but like, it wasn't something I wanted an entire page of in my sketchbook. So I just put these really old little painting, colored pencil art over it from like last year. I think they both were from last year. I just stuck those on top. This is Cult, my favorite OC that I've had for years. I just figured I'd go ahead and plop him in there. This is with my Pentel brush pen, which is one of my favorite art supplies of all time. Even the little like hints of gray that I added on, that was me just going over the Pentel with a brush loaded up with water, because it's water resistant, the Pentel, but not perfect. So like if you really work it, you can get some tones of gray up, and I love that about it. So I always use that method to just get some detailing in. Oh, here's where I swatched those for myself, but I wanted them swatched in my other sketchbook just so that if I'm ever just using that sketchbook, I've got swatches in there too, and vice versa. This is just a random, it was practice where I made AI make a ton of characters for me, and then I had to like recreate / redraw the AI character. It was just for fun. It wasn't for a video or anything. And my best friend who lives with me said that he looks like, what was it? If David Bowie was in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. And I was like, I think that's an insult, but maybe, or unless that's a compliment. I don't know. But I was like, okay. Okay, so here though is where I tried Neocolor on 3 different types of paint, and I was actually surprised by the results. I thought the acrylic would do the worst because it's semi-glossy, but it actually, in my opinion, did the best. And I'm so happy I did this test because I never would have thought to put it on top of acrylic until I did this, and now I'm like, oh, I'm totally going to use it on top of acrylic sometime. So these are the Luminance pencils, and then these are the Neocolors on top. Here is gouache, again, pencils on the top, Neocolors down here, and then watercolor, specifically super granulating Schmincke watercolor, in case that has a difference. And these were, I think, Holbein gouache. But anyways, and this was Liquitex, just basics, acrylic. But yeah, the Neocolors and pencils did like the worst on top of the watercolor, technically. And I thought that's where it was going to do the best. But it did the best on the other types. Well, I thought it was going to do the best on gouache. I thought second best on watercolor, and I thought it wouldn't really stick to the acrylic. And it ended up being acrylic best, gouache second, and watercolor the least, which surprised me. And then last, we just have my little guy here. Let me find where I last did art, because you might have seen the beginning stuff. Here we go. All right, this was just random portraits. This is an Anar, which is a species of alien in Star Trek, because I'm a big Trekkie. I have 2 Star Trek tattoos. But anyways, I just created a little Anar OC. Enar? I don't remember. And then this is just a random blue devil alien thing. And they're watercolor in the back, and then gouache and colored pencil on top. And they're kind of sloppy, but that's because they're so small, so that's to be expected. All right, the next like chunk of pages, it's me trying to make myself practice things I suck at, and I super suck at tigers. I suck at most animals, but I really suck at tigers, so I was like, okay, I'm just gonna like bring up a ton of photos and like do a ton of studies over a handful of pages. So this was that first page. Here's the next. I think this is my favorite spread of my tiger pages. These are all Pentel brush again, ink brush. Brush pen, there we go. I like this guy too though. All right, this is the last tiger. I did one random lion, some random clothes, some super random doodles. These were me just taking my Pentel brush and doodling what I saw in our backyard, like what was on the table, and a little section of our garden. This is another hideous sketch where I literally just wanted to scribble because of anxiety and stuff. It makes me relax. So I wasn't doing anything specific. It didn't have any photo up. Like I was literally just scribbling. So this is another one of those ugly pages that if I was being less sincere, I wouldn't show you, but I'm trying to be sincere with this. Those are those colors that I mixed myself when I said I made myself a color palette. these are those. Though I did also put a light green and a white in the little tin with them. Oh, and this is the last page in there. And with these, I used, the yellow was Tombow marker, but then everything on top was all Neo colors and the luminance pencils. So yeah, that's the end for this video. Hopefully I will have another one for you. Well, I'll have another haul for you at the end of the month because, like I said, it's my birthday and I'm excited about it. But hopefully I will have some new videos for you soon of me using these supplies. I'm trying to get the confidence to like draw and paint live. Not live, but recording it for you guys. And I'm so anxious. I have social anxiety and I'm autistic. And like when the camera's on, I just feel like there are eyes on me. And it just makes me like unable to do anything. But I'm really trying my best to get that feeling out and get that idea out of my head. So hopefully I'll be able to make some videos soon of you watching me create things. But thanks for being here and I will see you guys again soon. Bye.